Hello students, we're gonna work on some weaving today, and I think this is pretty fun, creating all this pattern. There's a few couple important steps to follow. This first step is to take it and to fold it. I would like you to make sure that you line it up so it's straight. Then we'll take this, once it's straight, hold it and crease it. Now you can see that the fold, this is the fold, is at the bottom, and the opening is up at the top. We're gonna take this white piece of poster board and I'm gonna put a line up at the top. So you can see that it's lined right up at the top. Even if it's moved down a little bit, that's gonna change your measurement a little bit. So we're gonna put this up at the top on the open part. If you do it the wrong direction and you had it turned around like this and you put your straight line here, that's on the fold, and that's not gonna work. So this straight line needs to go on that opening. Then you're gonna take these, and if I line this up with that straight line, that's kind of like my end line, my stop line. This also lines up right on the edge. If it's moved over, that will change your measurement. So this piece is cut so it will fit kind of in fractions. So I'm gonna take that and line this piece up and trace it. Then I'm gonna move it over. I'm gonna line it up with that pencil line and I'm gonna trace it. Then I'm gonna move it over and I'm gonna line it up again on that pencil line and this one. And I'm gonna draw it down to the bottom. Now, you're gonna continue going until you get to the other side. Trying to keep it very straight and draw this line. That's my last line. So you can see that one kind of lines up. There's a little bit, I noticed this paper is not perfectly cut, and that's okay if there's a little bit of variation there. But you can see there's one line on the top, and then this makes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lines. So there should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 that you make. Now, when I cut this, I'm going to cut from here up to that stop line. I usually start with the line that's furthest away from my hand that's holding it. So I'm gonna stop when I get to this line right there. If you go a little bit through the line, that's okay. You don't wanna stop short of the line. Then the reason that I said to start with the line that's the furthest away, if I start here and I cut this one first, by the time I get to the end, the paper starts to twist like this and it's hard to cut. So I've gotta keep a firm grip on this and I'm gonna cut that line, keeping the paper from twisting. And I'll work my way up, maybe just a little bit past the line. And we'll do my next line. I can feel the paper's wanting to twist here a little bit. So I've got to hold it tightly. Still holding it tightly. So if it starts to twist, grip it a little tighter. And let's grab this last one. When you have all your lines cut, we're gonna start weaving it. I will put a variety of papers out. So here I've got to open it now. And now I'm gonna take this, it's probably easiest if I turn that fold back. And I'm gonna start with this top line. This is like my stop line. That's where that first one is gonna line up. If this first one lines up well, the rest of them will line up pretty well too. So I'm gonna take this and I'm going to follow a pattern of over, so I'm over this one, under this one, over that one. So then I would go under this one, over that one, under this one. And I'm gonna slide it up until it lines up with this straight line that's at the top. Once I have that first one lined up, so that it doesn't fall out of your weaving, we're gonna take a little bit of glue, just tip this back and glue that piece, set it down, but it's two-sided. So I'm gonna need to flip it over and I should glue this one. I'm noticing a little pencil has gotten on there, so I'm gonna end up needing to erase that later. We won't worry about that right now. So press that one down and then just check to make sure that it's straight. Now that I have that first one done, I'm gonna switch to my second color. Since this yellow is over, this one needs to go under, over, under, over, under. So if I think to myself, okay, all of the green ones are gonna start under, all the yellow ones are gonna start over. It's just gonna make a pattern. So I glued that side on this one first. This one, I gotta glue this side. Make sure that the green box touches the yellow one right in the corner. Then I'm gonna take this, and sometimes it moves over a little bit. So if it moves over, unglue it, fix it, straighten it out, flip it over, flip this one back, and glue this one. I'll do two more just so you get in the pattern of it. So here, we said if the yellow starts over, green is under, yellow starts over. Under, over, under, over, under. Slide it up because we don't want space in it like that. We don't want it to be crooked. We want to make sure that it's pressed up. So then the yellow corners touch the green corners on each of those boxes. Flip this part over, glue that little edge, set it down, check to make sure it's straight, and flip it over and do this side. I'll do one bad example too. If I do the wrong thing and this is over and I went over, over, this is not what we want, because then it's not actually weaving and tying those together. So make sure that if that one is over, this one is under, over, this one has to be under, over, over, and then I'll work here. Make sure that it's touching. If you glue it down and there's space like that in it where they're not touching, I'm gonna ask you to unglue it and to press these up tighter. Now, let's move to this one. This one has it all woven, and I don't think we're gonna get this far, but just in case, this last one, if it won't fit in here, if you can't get this one to go through here, you might just have to take your scissors, I'm just gonna turn it around like this, and you just might have to cut these lines just a little longer on each of those, so then that last one will fit. Sometimes it fits perfectly, sometimes it's just too tight, and you would end up having to make those cuts a little bit larger. It's a little bit tricky to get that last one in because there's not a lot of space. Now, we'll talk a little bit about this next time because I don't think we're gonna get that far because this is quite a lot of weaving, but that last one, then I would glue that one in too. Something I will be looking for is that we do have our names on these. So it will be best, we are gonna stamp these. So I would just write my name small right at the bottom. And we can put your class code on here too. And we'll just make it small here because you can see I've already stamped this one, but next time we'll start stamping it. That's why we don't want to put your name like right over top of it because we'll stamp designs on it. So let's have fun working on these.